Hello friends, how are you? I hope you are good. We are dealing with the chapter chemistry of proteins. In the last video lecture, we have seen the introduction of proteins and the uses of protein, what for they are useful in our body. So you must know that the proteins are the important constituent of our body, and among the carbohydrate, lipids, it is one of the important constituent. So you must know that in the introduction we have seen the scientist known as Berzelius. In the year 1883, he reported first the meaning of protein. Proteus, the Greek word, means the first substance or the primary substance. So you must know that proteins are nothing but they are the structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Living organisms means plants, animals, and microorganisms. So you must know that they are the structural and functional unit of the living organisms. So in the introduction we have seen they are the organic substances, macromolecules formed by the number of amino acids linked together by the peptide linkage. So you must know that proteins are the organic substances, they are the macromolecules. 1/5 of the proteins are constituted with the total body weight of an adult in the body. So you must know that these proteins, they are the structural and functional units of all living organisms. So here today we are going to see the amino acids. Already we have started the amino acid. Amino acids, if you have to define amino acids are mono amino carboxylic acids. So what are the importance of these amino acids? Today we are going to see the amino acids. They are important for the cell growth. And they are also important for the neurotransmission, and in the body they forms glucose by glucogenic amino acids. So you must know that the other importance of this amino acid is that they form a protein molecule, means number of amino acids comes together and they form the protein molecule. Minimum 100 amino acids comes together to form a protein molecule, and above 100 so many amino acids can be there, they can form the protein molecule. But here you must know they are important, they are important for the cell growth and the neurotransmission. They also forms protein molecule as well as glucose. This glucose which is formed in our body, that is due to the glucogenic amino acids, which we have seen in the classification of amino acids. In the classification of amino acids, we have seen that the hydrophobic and hydrophilic amino acids. Under hydrophilic amino acid, positively charged amino acids are there, negatively charged amino acids are there, and uncharged amino acids. Under hydrophobic, we have seen the side aliphatic chain and the ring structure amino acids are there. That is to be said that the hydrophobic amino acids. So you must know that the amino acids, if we have to define that, they are the mono amino carboxylic acid. So here we are seeing the importance, and they are also important for they are used as an buffer in our body, and the SH group which is present in the sulfur containing amino acid known as cysteine. So this sulfur containing amino acid will have SH group, and this SH group is useful for the enzymatic activity, and moreover these amino acids, they are important as a buffer. So you must know that the importance of amino acids in our body, clinically if you will see, it will store and transport the nitrogen in the form of ammonia, and this is very important. That you must know, proteins, they contain nitrogen molecule, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen and nitrogen. So this nitrogen is stored in the body and it is transported. If the impairment of the nitrogen will be there, then there can cause the negative nitrogen balance in the body. What is the negative nitrogen balance? Negative nitrogen balance means the excretion of nitrogen will exceeds against the intake of nitrogen. So you must know that the negative nitrogen can be seen if there will be any defect in the transportation of the amino acid. Moreover, if the impairment will be seen in the transport catabolism of amino acid, then there can cause the amino aciduria, a disease known as amino aciduria. So this amino aciduria can occur due to the accumulation of amino acid into the urine, because there will be impairment in the catabolism of amino acids in the body. So this is the one of the important clinical of the important of the amino acids in the body. So you must know that amino acids are also detoxify the substances which are present in the body. Means the detoxification mechanism is carried out by the amino acids in the body. That detoxification means the foreign bodies, the toxic substances which are present in the body, they are removed by the amino acids. So you must know that these are some importance of amino acids. Now we'll see some biological important compounds are formed by amino acids. For example, creatinine. Creatinine is the non-protein nitrogenous constituent, and it is one of the important parameter which will be present in normal range from 0.4 to 1 milligram %. If it exceeds, then there can cause a disease, and this disease is related with the kidney. And whenever the urea increases in our body, creatinine also increases in our body. So you must know that the creatinine is formed by the amino acid, and that is from the glycine. So you must know that the glycine and arginine is one of the important amino acid which will form creatinine. And the another amino acid known as methionine. Methionine is sulfur containing amino acid, and this will form creatine. So there is difference between creatinine and creatine. Creatinine is the non-protein nitrogenous constituent. Just now I told you. And what is creatine? Creatine is anhydrous form of creatinine. So this creatine is formed by the amino acid known as methionine. Methionine is sulfur containing amino acid. So here you must know that we are seeing the biological compound which are formed by the biological importance compound formed by the amino acids. So here the bile salts are formed by the amino acids known as glycine and cysteine. So what are the bile salts? You must know these bile salts are important in the digestion of the lipids. So they can act as an emulsifying agents. So you must know bile salts are formed by some amino acids in the body. Then the heme is also formed. Heme is nothing but it is iron. Why iron is important? It get associated in our body with oxygen, and it will be helpful for the transportation of this heme with oxygen towards the peripheral tissues. So you must know that heme is formed by the amino acid known as glycine. So these are some important biological compounds which are formed by the amino acids. Now we'll see the another important biological compound known as purine. Purine bases, we can say that purine bases are formed by glycine and glutamine, and pyrimidine bases are formed by glutamine. Now the important biological compound like melanin. Melanin is nothing but it is a skin pigment. It is formed by the amino acid known as tyrosine, and this is a pigment of the skin and it is formed by the tyrosine. The important biological compound known as niacin. What is niacin? Niacin is nothing but it is a big complex vitamin, or you must know that the water soluble vitamin, and this is formed by the amino acid known as tryptophan. So here you can say that some biological important, we have discussed about some biological important compound which are formed by the amino acids. Now you must know that we'll see now the properties of amino acids. We'll see now one by one the properties of amino acids. We have seen that the amino acids, they are of two forms, L and D, that is said to be the levorotatory and dextrorotatory amino acid. We have also seen that the glycine is an important non-essential amino acid and which do not give any enantiomer in the body, and it will contain the structure like this: alpha carbon atom, carboxylic acid, amino group, and 2 hydrogen atoms will be there. So here this glycine, it will not give any optical rotation, therefore they do not give any enantiomer also. So here you must know in the property of amino acid, the amino acids, first we'll see the point solubility. These amino acids are soluble in water and ethanol. So these are the organic solvents. You can say that these are the soluble in water and ethanol. Now they are insoluble in ether and benzene. These are benzene and ether, they are the organic solvents here. Less soluble given by the non-polar. The less solubility is seen which are given by the non-polar amino acid. We have discussed about the polar and non-polar amino acid. Now the another property of amino acid is melting point. About this melting point, the amino acids, they are melt at around about 200 degree centigrade. If the question of amino acid will be there, means the number of amino acids comes together and they form the protein molecule. We are discussing about the chemistry of protein, under which we are seeing properties of amino acid. Now the isomerism property of amino acid. Isomerism means we have already seen the definition of the isomerism. Isomerism is nothing but the arrangement of the compound in such a manner they are having same molecular weight or structure, but they are different in the spatial configuration. So here the isomerism mirror images shows optical activity except glycine. So here, whenever two amino acids come together, here, for example, this is an amino acid CNH3 COOH. So here you must know that if this amino acid, this amino group is present towards the left side, then it is said to be the L amino acid. If it is present toward the right side, it is said to be D amino acid. So here the isomerism, the amino acids give the mirror images to show optical activity except glycine. Now we'll see the another property of amino acid is dipolar nature. Amino acids, they are dipolar in nature, means having two charges separated at 7.4 pH. What is the 7.4 pH? It is a body pH, body fluid pH. So at this pH, the amino acid will give two different charges, positive charge, negative charge. Means that here we have seen that the NH2 is a positive charge and NH3 is positively charged and COO is minus, that is acid. It is an acid, it is an base. So you must know that the amino acids, they give dipolar nature, two charges separated at 7.4 pH. Now the another property of amino acid is ampholytic nature, means that in acidic medium the amino acid will act as an base, and in alkaline medium it act as an acid. We have already discussed. Now this, in acidic medium it will act as an base, NH3 plus, and in base alkaline medium it will act as an acid, that is COO. Means that this acid COOH is donor. It will donate hydrogen ion to the amino group and it becomes NH3, and this NH2 will become acceptor of hydrogen or proton. You must know that. So one is donor and one is acceptor. Here acid is donor and here the amino group is acceptor. So you must know that the ampholytic nature, that in acidic medium amino acid will behave like base and in alkaline medium amino acid will behave like acid. So you must know that this. Now the another property is buffering activity. What is buffering activity? This one of the amino acid known as histidine, it acts as an buffer at pH equal to pKa. So here the ratio of, what is pKa? The ratio of dissociated acid is to conjugated base, the meaning of pKa. So here the buffering activity can be shown here at pH equal to pKa. Now you must know that. So this is one of the important property, and you must know that these proteins, they can be separated with the help of the process known as electrophoresis. Electrophoresis is a process by which number of amino acids can be separated. So here you must know that. What is the principle electrophoresis? Principle of electrophoresis is migration of charged particles from cathode to ion. So you must know that the amino acids are separated by the process of electrophoresis. Now we have seen this. Now we'll see how this ionization, isoelectric pH, isoelectric pH. What is the meaning of isoelectric pH? A pH at which the amino acid molecule will show neutral in charge. Means that the pH, isoelectric pH, is that pH at which the amino acid will have no net charge, so in an electric field. So you must know that that is the isoelectric pH. Isoelectric pH, in this pH, now we'll discuss about the isoelectric pH or Zwitter ion. This isoelectric pH is also said to be Zwitter ion. Now this Zwitter ion means ampolite. It is said to be ampolite. Ampolite means will have base as well as acid in its structure. So here unionized amino acid is seen here. CH, COO, NH3 and R is the flexible group, okay, which is present in the amino acid structure. So this, I just now told you that this unionized amino acid will give two different forms here. So you must know, whenever acid is added, this NH3 will become positive, and here you must know that whenever alkali is added, means hydroxyl group is added here, then it will become here the negative, means that the acid will donate the hydrogen ion and it will amino group will accept the hydrogen ion. So you must know, in this the water removal of water molecule takes place. So here you can say that this isoelectric pH is nothing but it is a Zwitter ion, or it is at this isoelectric pH the net charge will be 0, and this amino group which will have net charge +1, and the anion group it will have net charge -1. So you must know that the unionized amino acid will give two different structures here, means that in acidic medium the amino acid will act as a cation, and in basic medium the amino acid will act as an anion. So this is the Zwitter ion or isoelectric pH at which in the electric field the net charge will be 0. The molecules cannot move in an electric field because of the isoelectric pH. So you must know that this is the isoelectric pH which we have discussed. Now we'll see the formation of peptide bond, how peptide bond is formed there. You must know that when two amino acids comes together, they will form a dipeptide. Three amino acids will come together, they will form tripeptide. Many amino acids come together, they form polypeptide. So you must know that here the structure of the amino acid is given here, NH2, and here in the last COH, means that this is the N terminal and this is the C terminal of amino acid. In this we are seeing here NH2, CH, COOH. This becomes one amino acid, that is R1, that is one, and the another amino acid will be here NH2, CH, COOH and R2. In this two amino acids come together, in this a removal of water molecule will be there, and this removal of water is seen by the process of condensation. What is the condensation? Means when the amino group, when the carboxylic group of one amino acid is attached with the amino group of another amino acid, there will be the formation of water molecule. Here it is seen that H2O, water is formed there, and there the formation of bond takes place called as peptide bond. The peptide bond will occur there between CO and NH. So there this peptide bond is also known as amide bond. It is also known as amide bond. So here the formation of peptide bond can be seen when two amino acids come together, and removal of water will be there by the process of condensation. Now we'll see some important polypeptides which are present in the body. Here the biologically important small peptides are there, which is plotted in 3 different columns. So we'll see now. The first column will be the name of the polypeptide, name of the composition of amino acid, and its role in our body. First, the GSH, that is the glutathione. These are the some polypeptides which are present in the body. GSH is nothing but it is a tripeptide called as the glutathione, and the composition of this glutathione will be glycine, cysteine and glutamate. This is the composition of glutathione. And what is its role in our body? It acts as an antioxidant. Antioxidant property, you must know, the antioxidant property is that property whenever the free radicals are present or formed in the body, they are very toxic one. They should be removed. So they are removed with the help of this glutathione by converting H2O2 to water and oxygen molecule later on in our body. So here the antioxidant property is seen by this glutathione. It will have the second one is oxytocin. Oxytocin is nothing. It is formed by the posterior pituitary. You must know that. And this polypeptide will have oxytocin. It is formed by the posterior pituitary. So it will have 9 amino acids in its structure. And what is the role of this oxytocin in our body? It will be helpful for the ejection of milk. Ejection of milk. And you must know, in this ejection of milk is taken in the women and during the post pregnancy period. So ejection of milk is carried out by the oxytocin. And the another function of this oxytocin is that it is responsible for the contraction of uterine. Contraction of uterine is carried out by the oxytocin. And the another important polypeptide, vasopressin. And this vasopressin is also known as antidiuretic hormone. It is called as antidiuretic hormone. So this vasopressin contains 9 amino acids in its structure, and it is responsible for the water reabsorption. It is responsible for the water reabsorption. Vasopressin is responsible for water reabsorption, and as well as it is also responsible for the regulation of blood pressure. Regulation of blood pressure is also carried out by the vasopressin, and this is the important. Vasopressin is nothing but it is an antidiuretic hormone. Now we'll see the another important polypeptide which is present in our body, that is known as bradykinin. It is important polypeptide. This bradykinin contains the 9 amino acids. It will contain 9 amino acids, and here this bradykinin is responsible for it inhibits inflammation. inflammation. So this is the important function which is carried out by the bradykinin. Then another important polypeptide known as kallidin. This kallidin will have 10 amino acids in its 10 amino acids in its structure. And this kallidin is responsible for the smooth muscle relaxation. Smooth muscle relaxation. Therefore, it is known as smooth muscle relaxant. So this kallidin is carrying important functions in our body for the smooth muscle relaxation. Then the another polypeptide known as TRH, thyroxine releasing hormone. So you must know that this TRH having 3 amino acids in its structure, and it stimulates the TSH secretion. It is responsible for the TSH secretion. Now you must know the another polypeptide known as enkephalin. Enkephalin. This will have 5 amino acids in its structure, and it is responsible for the analgesic system. Analgesic system means that it reduces the pain in the vertebral column or the fibers of the vertebral column. So this enkephalin will have only 5 amino acids and responsible to reduce the pain in the fibers of vertebral column. So you must know that these are some important biologically important small peptides which are present in our body. So friends, if you like my lecture, share it, give some comments. Don't forget to subscribe and press the button also. Thank you very much.